Okay, hi. So this video is going to talk about or show about how you can find the slope given an equation of a line. All right. So you have probably seen the most common way that you've probably seen the equation of a line is what we know as the slope-intercept form of a line, or that being your y equals mx plus b. Okay, so maybe you don't know that this is called your slope-intercept form, but that's what it's called. Okay. Um, and it's called that for a reason, right? Other video about slope, we talked about how m represents slope, right? And so this m also represents your slope. So this is your slope. And your b in this case represents your y-intercept. Okay, and so that's why this form of your equation, this y equals mx plus b, is called your slope-intercept form of the equation. Okay, and remember your y-intercept is just where your graph crosses, your line, where the line crosses the y-axis, crosses the y-axis. All right. So if we're just kind of drawing a line, any old way it looks like, I don't know. So this right here, this point right here, that's your y-intercept. Okay. And so that is 0b, right? Because we have not gone over to the left or right at all. It's at your x is 0, your y is your b. All right. Okay, so let's look at an equation, right? So this one's fairly simple. So let's see. I'm going to write y equals negative 3/4 x plus 10. All right. And again, this is in your slope-intercept form of your equation. So we can see nice and easy that your slope here is negative 3/4. And your y-intercept is positive 10. Okay, so what does that negative 3/4 mean, right? So let's try to graph this equation of this line really quickly. All right, so knowing these two things, I can graph this equation of this line, right? So I know that my y-intercept, my b, is 0, 10. So I'm going to go up 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oops, I need to go a little further. All right. Let's try doing that again. Okay. There we go. I think that should do it. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So I'm going to start at the point 0, 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right here. Okay, so this is my 0, 10. This is my y-intercept. Now, slope, remember, is rise over run, right? So your slope is equal to your rise over run, right? Also known as your change in y over your change in x. Right? So I'm looking at my change in y here. That's negative 3. That means I'm going to go down 3 points. So from the point 10, I'm going to go down 3. And so I'm going to end up at 7. So my new y is going to be 7. And my change in y and change in x is 4. So I'm going to go over 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now my new point is the point 4, 7. Okay. And remember, to graph a line, all you need is 2 points, right? You get 2 points and you just connect them and make it as straight as possible. Not the greatest with the straight, but I try. Okay, and so now this is our line, right? So this is y equals -3/4 x plus 10. That's what this looks like. Okay, and you can see, right, so we had a negative slope, right? So that means our line is decreasing. It's going down. That's what a negative slope looks like. All right, so this is pretty simple, right? When you're given an equation of a line in the form of, in your slope-intercept form, in that y equals mx plus b form, it's fairly simple to find the slope. All right, you just have to remember where that m is, right? So it's your coefficient of your x. Okay. Now, sometimes you're not given a line in slope-intercept form, and so sometimes you're given a line in what they call standard form. Okay, and standard form is ax plus by equals c. All right, so now you can see we don't have a nice y equals mx plus b, so we don't know the slope here. But there is a formula for the slope. So in this standard form, your slope is -a over b. All right. So if we're looking at an example, I'm going to write this in standard form. 5x minus 3y equals 10. Okay. So here my a is a +5 and my b is a -3, right? So remember, we want to take that coefficient. So here, this is 5x minus 3y, so we want to make sure that we take that negative with it, okay? And so then my slope here would just be -5, a, over b, which is -3. Now we can simplify this, right? A negative divided by a negative is a positive. So -5 divided by -3 gives me a +5 over 3. All right. And so this is my slope for this line. Now, let's say you can't remember that that's how you find the slope, or that's what the slope is in this standard form. Well, we can always use algebra to convert this standard form into your slope-intercept form, right? I'm assuming that you guys are a little more confident with that because that's generally how we've seen lines, okay? So remember, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. Okay, so I'm going to take this same equation, this 5x minus 3y equals 10, and I can't remember how to find the slope from this. But I do know how to find the slope in y equals mx plus b form. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to solve. That's not how you spell solve. I'm going to solve for y. Okay. And so when I do that, okay, so 5x minus 3y equals 10 is how I start. I'm going to subtract this 5x on my left and right side of my equal sign, right? What I do to one side, I have to do to the other to keep it a nice balance. So I have -3y is equal to -5x plus 10. And then I'm going to divide everything by -3. Okay. And so what you end up here is you get -3y divided by -3. It's just a positive 1y. And here we have -5x over -3 plus 10 over -3. Okay. And so I'm going to rewrite this a little nicer. So I have y equals, now remember, a negative divided by a negative is positive. So I have 5 over 3x and then plus a -10 over 3. All right. And so now this is in our nice slope-intercept form. So I can see here that, again, my slope is still that 5/3, right? The same thing that I got using that m equals negative a over b formula, right? And you can see here now we wrote it. So my b, or my y-intercept, is negative 10/3, which is kind of hard to find exactly, right? But that's okay. We're not looking to graph this one. But that what we wanted to find was our slope. And so this is our slope. So I just wanted to show you that when you are given the slope-intercept form, right? This is your coefficient of your x is your slope. When you're given your standard form, it's this formula, negative a over b. But if you can't remember that, then you can always convert your equation from standard form into slope-intercept form. And then remember that just your slope is the coefficient of your x right here. Okay. And yeah, so that's finding the slope given an equation of a line. I could do another one real quick. I guess we'll do another one in standard form. Just real quick. All right, so let's say we have negative 3x minus 7y equals 14. Okay. So again, I can't remember that m equals negative a over b. So I can remember it, right? I'm going to solve for my y. So I'm going to add 3x on both sides. And so I get negative 7y is equal to 3x plus 14. And I'm going to divide by negative 7. Okay. And remember, everything gets divided by negative 7 on that right side. So now I have negative 3 over 7x. And then minus 2, right? 14 divided by negative 7 is negative 2. Again, here, my slope is negative 3 over 7. And my b, or my y-intercept, is negative 2, right? So your y-intercept is the point of 0, negative 2, okay? And if we were using that nice negative a over b formula, right? Here our a is equal to negative 3 and our b is equal to negative 7, right? So a negative 3 divided by negative 7. Negative times a negative becomes positive, so 3 over negative 7, or just m is equal to negative 3 over 7. All right, so you can see again, we got the same thing both times, negative 3 over 7. So if you can remember this, that's great. If you can't, convert it into your slope-intercept form, and then you just, again, the coefficient of x. All right, I hope this was helpful.